Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to my channel. My name is Paul, the Canadian Snowman, back here once again with another awesome video from Feature History, History of the Duel. Um, I'm assuming what that means is like what this picture says, focuses on. This I've seen in movies or TV shows where they have a duel. I guess one person disrespects the other and they want to have a duel. And I guess that, I don't know, maybe there's some kind of duels. And couple I've seen, I think it was like they have one bullet or something. They have to walk like a certain amount of paces, and then they turn around and they shoot, and something like that. Uh, but yeah, I thought it was super interesting, and it's a short video, which definitely helps me with it, being able to get videos in. So the shorter the better, kind of thing. Well, not really depend on the thing, but for this kind of video, a duel, I mean, come on, I don't think we need an hour explanation on this. I mean, I guess there could be a lot of history on duels. I don't know when they began. How far back? I don't know. I'm sure they're explained to us and all that fun stuff. But anyways, guys, please hit that like and subscribe button below. I really appreciate it. And let's have a duel. It'd be kind of cool. Cool to have a duel. I mean, like a fun duel, not like I'm gonna die kind of duel. So yeah, what am I doing? Okay. Yeah. Like and subscribe. Yep, I already said that. And full screen. And bam.
Welcome to a Feature History special episode. Yes, I'm doing another one. This time, I'm not covering an event in history, but rather a concept. The concept of a duel. A battle of one-on-one combat done in order to protect honor or gain respect. Now, why am I covering this instead of the request for the Yugoslav or Great Northern War that you put in every video? Well, because this is the most elaborate way I could convince.
I can relate to this because I'm sorry, but I do see in like requests in my videos the same stuff kind of get requested over and over, and I'm thinking in the back of my head like I'm gonna get to that eventually, But yeah, it's kind of funny.
Convince you to buy Mordhau. Anyways, more about Mordhau at the end. The duel isn't a revolutionary idea. We've always had a loosish idea of honor, whether it be a matter of official recognition or just to please one's ego. It might have been present in pre-recorded history. Then again, so may have a lot of things, they didn't record it. Tribal rituals present in Maori, Aboriginal and indigenous Brazilian cultures did contain one-on-one combat, so I could only assume that other tribal cultures had the same. Generally though, it wasn't a great idea to kill someone you might need to help you hunt the next day. That of course changed with the advent of agriculture and the creation of cities and claimed territory. The whole war thing started to happen, and so perhaps duels may find their place there. Well, in fact, they did. Champion warfare. The best of the best from opposing sides met in no man's land to prove their might. Sounds fantastical, because it most likely was. Records of such a thing appear solely in tales such as the Iliad and the Hebrew Bible, which aren't...
Yeah, like one I remember too is in the movie Troy. They had like the best warrior from each side fight each other, and I guess the loser of that battle lost the war, and then the losing side had to, their troops had to be part of the other person's army or something, or they had to have the support of the losing side or something like that, which makes cool sense. It stopped a lot of death, but obviously, I don't think that was really something that happened too often. I wouldn't think.
Aren't exactly peer-reviewed sources, are they? These stories didn't only appear in Mediterranean societies, just about every literate culture had their 1v1 me legend. Champion warfare, though, wasn't just all make-believe, it did actually happen in pre-Islamic Arabia, Japan, Russia, the other countries. For its role in early antiquity, however, we only possess legend. Now, duelings may not have happened in the battlefield, but it probably did happen in this massive building in the middle of Rome. Now before you say those weren't duels but an orgy of blood and violence amongst the enslaved, you're wrong. Before you slightly smugger and self-assured history nerds start writing in the comments that gladiatorial combat was a sport and had nothing to do with honor, a man who fought well would gain respect, so therefore honor, so therefore The tradition of gladiators spans all the way back to Rome when it was but a wee boot on the underbelly of tribal Europe, and it only continued and expanded from there. It featured not slaves thrown to animals or other slaves, but stars willing to test their skills and put on a show. They'd perform exotic forms of combat in one-on-one scenarios where most of the
Hey, so they were willing participants in this, because like I'm sorry, Spartacus kind of like immediately comes to mind, but they were all slaves. Well, at least I think they were slaves. I mean, I've only seen like the TV shows. I don't think I've seen like a document. Have I watched like a documentary on Spartacus, whereas actual facts, I don't think so. Well, that'd be cool. That'd be kind of cool thing to see now that I think about it. But I've only seen like the TV show. But anyways, but yeah, they were slaves, right? So I can't really be considered a duel. I mean, I'm assuming the duel is like each person on their own accord decided to do this. They weren't forced to. They wanted this. But anyways, yeah.
Skills and put on a show. They'd perform exotic forms of combat in one-on-one scenarios where most of the time no one actually died. The sports and its arenas were a testament to Roman civilization, and they showed it proudly. But as money dwindled and Christianity was brought in, it fell into decline, until being made illegal in 438 AD. As we all know, Rome fell, but the duels remained. The pagan practice of Hollengang was adopted into Scandinavian law in the early Middle Ages. Hollengang could be used to solve a myriad of disputes, especially those of honour. So how does one Hollengang? Well, I'm glad you asked. Two men would meet in an arranged place, a field of honour, and using the latest in stabbing or bludgeoning technology would see who would be the first to be injured or die, whichever fits your fancy. This was of course an exception to the murder laws, and refusing to participate would have you outlawed. With the turn of the millennia though, this fell out of practice and was criminalised. Just prior though, the Holy Roman Empire began to embrace their old Germanic tribal battlings into common law. Trial by combat was sanctioned. Similar to Holmgang, serious criminal disputes could be resolved by trial by combat, the idea being God wouldn't possibly let the innocent die, right? A bunch of cultures had similar systems or rituals to trial by
combat, and then now Game of Thrones comes to mind, and it's like God wouldn't let the someone die. Come on now. I mean, like that just aching for like the bullies to win everything. Like, hey, I'm the best, warrior in town, man. I can take what I want, and if they catch me, I can do trial by combat, and who's gonna beat me, kind of thing. Interesting.
By combat, the idea of assaulting someone rather than arguing was quite appealing. Trial by combat was quite different to Holmgang in ways. The to be defeated could cry out Craven, or something similar to capitulate, losing the dispute. Also losing if they never appeared to begin with. It also had the clever little addition that one could select a champion to represent them. You wouldn't be fighting little old Gunther the merchant, but instead say hello to Otto, the dockhand. The 13th century saw its decline as a sensible trial by jury was introduced. It remained quite popular within the HRE, but generally commoners were not inclined to fight. Knights, on the other hand, loved to fight. The practice of passage of arms evolved.
Seems kind of odd that the Holy Roman Empire is the one that still like trial by combat and not the jury thing. Like, considering that they're the Holy Roman Empire, and the fact that Christianity and Rome kind of stopped the dueling thing, but yet the Christianity and the Holy Roman Empire likes the dueling thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm completely off, but I don't know. I know that the Holy Roman Empire has nothing to do with Rome, the early state. Rome. Awesome Rome. The Holy Roman Empire has nothing to do with that. But the fact that they're both kind of Christianity kind of deals, that's kind of what I'm getting at. But anyway, sorry.
Evolved in the late 14th century, where a group of knights would set up on a bridge and like a school kid would demand a password, but this password was a feasibly fatal fight. If you left, they called you mean words, disgracing you. Jousting also became a thing, and wasn't too fatal, so thumbs up from me. The 16th century saw trial by combat and the passage of arms fall out of practice, but dueling would never fall out of practice. The Renaissance gave way to the notion of a gentleman, a man of honour, and how would he protect this honour? In the most gentlemanly way possible, stabbing the fuck out of you. Inspired by the prior plethora of practices, the aristocrats, bureaucrats, diplomats, pussycats, and smelly rats took up dueling. It was quite simple. Upon offence, the offended would throw down the gauntlet. A gauntlet made of soft cotton, but a gauntlet nonetheless. A time and place was arranged, and the gentlemen arrived with their seconds, who, if they couldn't convince their superiors of this idea's low quality, would arrange their equipment. The duel was typically sabres, and beginning with the 18th century, pistols. More exotic options were available, such as billiard balls, balloons, and even pork sausages. Fights ended upon challenger's satisfaction, or in certain conditions, first blood, wound, or death. Most weren't death though. The Catholic Church tried to crack down on it, but clearly didn't. Its popularity continued across Europe and colonial America, and it was most popular in France. Alas, as ideas of honour waned and laws toughened, it declined through the 19th and 20th century, completely gone by the outbreak of World War I. Today, the odd law remains here and there that someone's forgotten about, but try it and you may find out that most judges aren't very farcical people. There's fencing, sure, but there's nothing very personal to it at all, and there's
Yeah, but look, just say there is, like, maybe in different states you're allowed to duel, and just say you do have a duel and you killed your opponent. like that would still be held up like in the court of law, right? Because hey, it's still in the system. It's not like annexed, so you can't send me away for murder or something like that. I mean, it used to be kind of be like a self-defense thing, so you shouldn't have to go jail anyway, or manslaughter. I don't know, but like that's the kind of technicality that could probably get you out of something, because a duel will be technically legal maybe in some states. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. It's cool though.
Farcical people. There's fencing, sure, but there's nothing very personal to it at all, and there's certainly not enough depth. Generally, as people today, we have to be satisfied with telling Bruce that it's you, me, Macca's car park. Now, like a father sitting down with his son for the talk, it's time I told you about Mordhau. You may have thought to yourself, man, I want to play a multiplayer melee combat game.
Okay. So it's pretty much what I expected as far as, okay, it was about dueling, but it was kind of cool to go. I forget how far back it would go, but I guess it's dueling goes back as basically as far as mankind, I guess, is kind of alive pretty much, right? But it was kind of, I love like the comedy that they did in this video. I think it was pretty good, and yeah, it was cool, and it was kind of interesting to see like who was for, who was against it, and it seemed to go like back and forth kind of deal. But yeah, I guess the more one I kind of think about more is, I guess, the pistols. It's the more Renaissance time period, and like I don't really thought about that as thought about dueling in like the Roman times. I just thought like they're slaves or gladiators. They just fight because they're told to fight, not for honor or anything. But I guess they said in the earlier days that was a thing, and I guess it is. And I really kind of didn't realize either too that it wasn't always to the death. I mean, I guess you had a safe word. Oh shit, I'm going to lose. I give up. Don't kill me. You win. You get your winnings. Just don't kill me. But anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts below about dueling. You guys think it should be a thing? Like, two sides, if each side is willing to do it and put their lives on the line. I mean, kind of dueling now, right? Like martial arts and stuff, UFC. I mean, I guess you can consider that kind of a duel, right? They both agreed and they both like talk a lot of crap before their matches, and they're going to go out and have a duel. I mean, it's not till the death, but I mean, death is possible. Is that kind of considered a duel? But anyways, guys, peace. Catch you guys in future videos. Let me know your thoughts below. I thought this was kind of an interesting video anyway, and haven't done a feature history one in a little bit. So anyways, peace. Catch you guys in future videos. You guys are awesome. Like and subscribe, and I'm out of here. Woohoo!